On the court, all stars make assists look easy. Behind the back, no look, or off the backboard, they're dropping dimes nonstop. That's how we feel about coverage and savings. Combine your home and auto with State Farm and let State Farm start your own assist highlight reel. After all, even all stars need an assist. Call agent Paul Dawning for help combining your home and auto and enjoy the savings. Dial 884-6947. That's area code 219-884-6947 or visit www.pauldawning.com. That's PAULDAWNING.com. Good afternoon, and welcome to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. I am your host, Kevin King. He is I, and I am him, the 800 Credit Score Man himself. And again, thank each and every one of you for coming in and listening to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. You have no idea how much I truly, truly appreciate it. So look, check this out, you guys. So if you missed out on this morning's session, I was doing the financial wellness seminar that was sponsored by Living Purpose Church that's based out of Aurora, Illinois. And we were at the Eola Center right there in Aurora, Illinois. If you missed out, you missed out on some powerful, powerful information being shared on budget that was done by Latarsha Bailey, who is the First Lady of Living Purpose Church. And then you also missed out on some information from Barry, the loan arranger Johnson, who talked to us all about mortgages and how we're supposed to go about that process to make that process easier for ourselves, as well as maybe even our mortgage lender, how we're supposed to do those things. Now, if you look at all of those things, you look at budget, you look at mortgages, and then you combine that with credit, they're all overlapping. There are plenty of overlapping things. You cannot get a mortgage without having some credit. So you're going to need your credit, right? So that's how that overlaps. And then budgeting may help you. It may help you with your credit as well. So if you missed out on that powerful seminar this morning, of which I just ran out of. So if you don't know, I am remote. A couple weeks ago, I was in Bloomington, Indiana. I've done the show from Naperville, Illinois. I am in Aurora, Illinois as we speak right now. I've done the show in Indianapolis. I've done the show from Florida. So I am remote, have laptop, will travel. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to get through like an overview of how you need to go about to understand your credit. Then also how we're going to go about going ahead and taking your credit to the next level as well. So if you're stuck at that 680, what are we supposed to do to make sure that you get to 720? So we're going to discuss those things today on the 800 Credit Score Man Show. If you're new to the show, welcome. Please share this show with all of your friends and your family. Please do that as well. And you can share it with them on any particular platform. So the show itself, if you're listening to it on iTunes, I'm on iTunes. If you're listening to it now, even on Alexa. So you walk in your house and say, Alexa, have Spreaker play the 800 Credit Score Man, you're going to hear my intro. So if it's on Alexa or if it's on YouTube or wherever you may find it, please share this show. You know I'm on Twitter at Credit Score _man on Twitter. So get to Twitter, follow me there. I'll absolutely follow you back. So if you know the show, I come on, I present this topic. We're going to discuss this topic. We may or may not have a question of the day today. I haven't decided if we're going to do a question of the day today as of yet. But if we do, it'll be powerful. It'll come from you, the listeners. So if you have a question, email me, 800 creditscoreman@gmail.com. Email me there, and I will get your question. I'll answer it to you directly, and you may become part of the 800 Credit Score Man Show family. And I'm going to give you guys some shout outs as well. So let's get into the show, you guys. The very, very first thing I want to say is this. Let me get a shout out. I got to get it. I like to give the little kids their shout out first. So I got to give a big shout out to Niles Crane. Niles celebrated a birthday last week. He has turned the big one. So 1 year old now. It's great. And I got to give him a shout out. Look, I got to give a shout out to Larry and Crystal Garrett. Both of them get a shout out. They are not married. They are a father and daughter whose birthday are just a couple of days apart. So I got to give both of them, Larry and Crystal Garrett, both happy birthdays as well. Coming up right with them is Mark Bacon. Got to give Mark Bacon a huge happy birthday as well. So happy birthday to you, Mark. He's getting up there, talking about he might want to retire or something. So look, make that decision and make it happen for you. So happy birthday to you, Mark Bacon as well. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's jump into what we're going to talk about on the show today. So I said we're going to give you like an overview, if you will, of your credit, how it should work, what things are working for you, what things that are not working. We're going to talk about some of those things today on the 800 Credit Score Man Show. So the first thing, let's start from the beginning. Where does your credit come from? Who decides if you have good credit or bad credit or whatever? So let's talk about that. So your credit score and your credit report comes from three major credit bureaus. That's TransUnion, it's Experian, and there's Equifax. You have these three major credit bureaus, and again, I say major. Everyone says major because there are other, industry-specific credit bureaus. There's a credit bureau for, like for credit if you are a business or something of that nature. So, but the three major for consumers, TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. You have those three. Your credit score does what? It runs from 300 to 850. Of course, the higher the better. So if you've got if you've got a 550, you're not doing so good. Your credit is actually poor or even bad at a 550. But then if you raise that credit score to a 680, you're doing a lot better. If you're between that 700 and 749, you have good credit. That's a nice sweet spot to be at. And then if you're at 750 and above, you're looking at excellent credit. Now, so if you're 750 to 850, a lot of people contact me and say, hey, I want an 800 score like you, or I want an 850 credit score. And I always ask them why. Why do you want an 850 credit score? Some of you will try to break your neck to go ahead and try to get that 850 score, and it's not necessarily necessary. So if the point and the purpose of you getting a higher credit score is so you don't have to pay as much interest, so you don't have any issues being denied when you go to try to get a car or a credit card or whatever material item you may want, then if that's the case, you don't need an 850 to get those things. What you need is to be in the excellent range. So if that range is from 750 to 850, I, with an 822 or 847, depending on which credit bureau you look at, will get the same interest rate as the person that's barely within that excellent range at a 751. So if that's where you are, you're going to get the same interest rates as a person that has an 845. You get the same one. So you don't have to necessarily break your neck to go from 740 to just 750 to 850. However, it is good to be well over the bottom of that threshold. And here's why. Your credit score fluctuates. Once you reach, that magical number, whatever that number is for you, say it's 825, once you reach that number, your score is not going to stay there. It's not going to stay at that particular number. You're going to have your score fluctuate. It may go up a couple of points. It may go down a couple of points. But I'll tell you this, the higher your score, the harder it is for you to increase that score. Conversely, the higher your score, the easier it is for your score to plummet and to plummet out of that excellent range. So you don't want to be necessarily at that 750. If your goal is to get into that excellent range, you want to get up to maybe close to 800, maybe a little over 800, because your score will fluctuate seemingly for no reason at all most of the time. All right. So we talked about that. Your credit scores 300 to 850. What else are we going to talk about when it comes to your credit score and what you need to do? One of the things that you need to absolutely know is the way your credit score is calculated. So not only is it just good enough to know who calculates your score, which is, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. Now, those companies are called credit bureaus. It almost makes them sound official, like they're part of the country or something, the government, and they're not. They're independent companies. Independent companies, privately owned, or not necessarily privately owned, but publicly traded on the stock exchange. You can actually go out and buy some Experian stock or some TransUnion stock or some Equifax stock if you want to. You do know that Equifax was just hacked. What you may not know about them being hacked is the fact that several of the upper echelon people there in the company, upper management, knew that they were about to make this information public, and they went ahead and divested or sold, if you will, some of their stock, if not all of it, because they thought, and they should have thought this, and they would probably have been right, that their their stock was going to go down because of this massive hack that happened with Equifax. So since I'm here and talking about this, let me go ahead and retrace those steps a little bit for you. If you're not aware, from I think it was mid-May to July 29th when Equifax discovered it, they had been party to a hack. So yes, somebody got into their system. They stole all kind of information that is detrimental to you. They stole that information. So 145.5 million people, yes, 145.5 million people had their information actually compromised. That's not people that are just on the system and, they happen to be there. No, those people's information were absolutely compromised. I am one of those people. So how do you find out if you're one of those people as well? You go to equifaxsecurity2017.com. That's www.equifaxsecurity2017.com. Go there and they'll tell you right away, immediately, if you have been impacted by this particular breach. So they're going to ask you for your last name and the last 6 digits of your social security number. So go there to see if you've been impacted. If you have, or even if you haven't been impacted, I'm going to suggest that you get free credit monitoring. Get the free credit monitoring. They are offering free credit monitoring. Go ahead and get it. There was an issue before where, if you took this free credit monitoring, then you gave up all your rights to sue them in a class action suit or as an individual. That is no longer the case. Get this free credit monitoring so you can protect yourself. You have until the end of January 2018 to sign up for the free credit monitoring, but you don't want to wait that long. Do not wait that long because between now and then, your information could have been hacked. People have already bought cars in apartment buildings and gotten utilities in your name or any number of things, and it may be a little bit too late. So you need to go ahead and you need to do that right now. There are people that have contacted me that said that they have apparently ordered things online that they never actually ordered, because within this breach, they also received 209,000 people's actual credit card numbers. Yes, your entire credit card numbers, all 16 digits. Yes, the expiration date, and even that little code on the back that you need to put in for quote unquote security purposes. So they have all of that information and they're able to order things basically in your name and maybe get some free stuff. Now, word on the street, y'all, is that they hacked all these people, right? And a person that's trying to use this information for, their own personal gain would pay $30 per account. $30 per account. So they got essentially 150 million people's information. And if somebody's paying $30 an account, that's in the billions of dollars. One of the reasons that these hackers do these kinds of things. Some like to hack just to prove that they can hack. Others like to do it so they can get paid. And these people are definitely going to get paid by doing that. All right, so I'm off my Equifax soapbox. Make sure you go to Equifax Security 2017 .com, and make sure